We'll change it up if we have to. But our final topic for today is actually something that people ask us a lot in chat and actually in person at events and whatnot. So we're going to make a quick little VOD about how we got started casting, or like what got us here to PlayhemTV or to MLG in the case of some of our more illustrious people here in chat, as well as like Frodan and I cast for the CSL. Where did we start from, our humble beginnings, so to speak, and maybe tips for you guys who are out there who want to become casters yourselves or are interested in that scene. And we're going to start round robin style, and by round robin I mean we're starting with Robin and we're going to go clockwise through.
Oh, that was good.
Do you like the segue?
Yeah.
All night. It's in a text file. It's in a text file.
So clever. Oh my gosh, where's Batman? Should have added that one in there too.
All right, so we're gonna give about a few minutes, and
right here, man.
And everybody's gonna get a chance to
Fro-man.
to say their story. So kick us off, Robin.
I don't know. A lot of people have already read my stuff because I've been fortunate enough to have Brightside, who's actually in the chat. She did a interview on me. The thing I try to tell everyone is you got to keep trying. You got to put a lot of work into it. You can't ever let anyone tell you that you're not doing a good enough job, because you're doing something they're not. Be respectful of people who give you criticism. The way I got into it was I just found someone that needed someone to cast. They were running tournaments on the side, and my guy was Coach Oz from the MLG forums. Hopped on with there, just kept casting, and I got lucky. I bumped into people that helped me out. I bumped into Frodan. He was actually really, really nice to me.
Whoa.
Well, I didn't bump into him the way I wish I did, but...
Rob, to the first time you casted me when I was playing in your tournament.
Yeah. Actually, if you guys want to see horrible casting, you should watch my first couple of VODs on my YouTube. It's pretty horrendous. I actually casted Frodan, and his team is on as Saga, or was Saga. And I actually just called him Saga the whole time instead of his actual name. It was pretty horrendous. I bumped into him, and he actually gave me some words of encouragement. So again, with that, be nice to anyone that you run into. Really just keep trying your heart out. I mean, people are going to give you criticism, and you're going to have points where you're like, I'm not making it anywhere, nothing's going to happen, I should give up. Just don't. Keep going. I don't know. I can't really put too much emphasis on it. And be appreciative of the people that do support you. I mean, there's so many people out there that are willing to support you. Thank them for it if you get the chance, because they're the ones that's going to make you, I guess, known. They're the ones that's going to talk about you. I don't know. I just a lot of luck and a lot of hard work, really. I mean, I wish I could say there was some easy way to do it, like a lot of studying, or some, you got to know somebody or pay somebody. But no, it's a lot of work. Keep trying, man. That's all I can say. That's it.
All right. So moving on to Frodan. So give us just, again, I'm going to remind everyone the format. Quick backstory of how you got started in casting, and then tips or tricks for those who want to get into the game.
Alright, so I actually got my start through kind of luck too, I suppose. The way it happened was that our CSL team, back in 2010, yeah, that was a long time ago, and we basically needed someone to stream games because Zaris was our team captain, and he wanted to see who he can put like the lineups of, and so he wanted to see who was good and who was not good enough. So the way, no one had a really good computer at that time because everyone was still playing on laptops, and I just built my computer at the time. So I started streaming some games, and then people liked watching the game, so in the chat, and I was like using live stream at that time, and people were saying, you know, you should like, oh, I heard you over talking, you should try casting. So me and my buddy at the time, who is not even like anywhere near StarCraft 2 anymore, was casting, and then all of a sudden 100 people showed up. And I remember I actually didn't even enjoy casting at that time because I didn't know what I was talking about. StarCraft was still so new to me. I was just barely diving at that point, back with the Magic League, and I was like just considered lucky to be able to, because I cheated. So I came to the room, to the chat room, and actually said, hey, like, I think you actually have a lot of potential in casting. And he actually PM'd me, and he said, you sound like HD. I've been hearing that, but he said, you sound like my buddy HD, and I think you should keep casting. You have a lot of potential. And then ever since then, it took a lot of encouragement, because I had to look up who Husky was. And I was like, oh, this guy's huge, so if he believes in me, I guess I should. And ever since then, I just eat every opportunity, man. Every single tournament. Transitions into tips and tricks. Every single opportunity I ask if I can cast, and I've been turned down for every one tournament or thing that I managed to cast. I've probably been turned down 15 to 20 times.
Wow.
About everything else, and I remember I just remember being happy if like 40 people would tune in.
Yeah.
And if 100 people tune in.
We
And
did,
now all of a
guys.
sudden, man, when I cast, it's just weird having 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 people tune in, and I don't think it like I deserve any of it. You know, I think you have to really remain humble. I think the number one thing that really turns people off is entitlement in esports. There's this dude who like wanted to become the project manager for Blizzard, and he just made this huge blog about why he deserved it, and no one likes him, you know. So the reason why I enjoy Playhem casters so much is because I think all of us realize how lucky we are to get here, because all of a sudden everyone wants to be on Playhem now, and that's why I enjoy casting with all of you guys. So my number one thing for all you guys inspiring to be casters, just stay humble and stay low. There's no need for you to explode before your time. Everyone has their own processes of how they get there. Stick with it. Don't quit.
Kibbles had a half-hearted heart. He tried to do it. He gave up. He's like, not worth it. Not worth it.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I'm fortunate, like Robin as well. Brightside did an interview on me. It's on Team Liquid as well. You can find a lot of that, my kind of upbringing in it. So I'm going to keep mine really brief as well. I started kind of back. I played a lot when the beta came out and stuff, but not hardcore, just casually. And then I started casting this last summer because I liked talking about the game more than I liked playing it. I mean, we all get frustrated sometimes playing the game, obviously. And I just found out one day, me and my buddy went to lunch, and we just talked for 2 or 3 hours, kind of just theory crafting stuff. And I'm like, I could do this literally all day. So I started hosting my own King of the Hills. I made a PayPal account and put some money into it, where if people won 5 games in a row, they got $5. And I was kind of like you guys, where I was really happy if I had 4 to 10 viewers watching me. I was like, yes, this is awesome. Tomorrow it'll be 100 or something, but it never got that way. But I was really just happy with the practice and the turnout that I got. And again, with Robin's kind of take on it, I got really lucky, especially with this MLG, this last for Orlando. Oh, excuse me, Providence. Right at the last thing, it was literally 2 days before Providence, and I noticed in some article, because they were talking about the beta streamers, that it was Robin, Tumba, and Adabisi, and for some reason in my head it went through really quick that I'm like, whoa, there's 4 beta streamers in Orlando, so maybe they need one more. So I just emailed 5 different people, and lucky enough for me, DJ Wheat lives 3 blocks away from me, so I emailed him and I'm like, can you write a reference for me? And he did, which was really awesome. So that's how I got into cast a few games for MLG, which was just really fortunate, and I feel really lucky for that. So some tips and tricks, I guess, like I said, just go back to Froden's point too. Just email anybody you can about casting. Go to those low tournaments. I remember I started casting Gold and Silver League tournaments too. Just cast anything you can, and that's how you'll get noticed.
All right. Kibs. Sorry, Nerdswagger.
All right.
That was fantastic.
Oh, thanks, man.
I'm sorry, I felt like I cut you off, and now I need to make a
No, I was done. You're good.
Okay.
You're so bad at transitioning. It's the one thing we're gonna have to
It's
work
like I want to tell
I
a
feel like a
riddle
sacky
about
Peter.
Kibbles. No, I'm gonna stop. That's bad.
I mean, I can hand it off to you. Tell them how I got in. But guys, I actually looked up my YouTube to check when I posted my first video,
Nice.
and it was on October. Oh, crap, I closed it. On October 9th of 2010. Again, my commentary, I knew that I wanted to get into StarCraft commentary, but it's actually not posted on my actual YouTube. It's posted on my archaic one. It's Kibbles and Bits. It's the full thing.
Nice.
Not a YouTube that I use anymore. And yeah, so I initially just got it started through YouTubing. I made a bunch of YouTube videos on KMB, but I didn't. If you take a look, I didn't actually launch my YouTube for a full 6 months later. I launched it in March. For 3 months after I through October to January, I was commentating all the time, but I was a little insecure. I didn't want to. You know how if you sing, you're nervous to sing in front of people. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was really the same way about or if you don't sing, but I was really nervous to show people my commentary. So I I was just like doing it all, and I wouldn't post any of it. I was just like watching it, and then I just completely like forgot about commentary when the New Year came and Christmas break and everything. And then in March, I watched GSL March. And GSL March was, I don't know if you guys remember, but it was MC versus Jesus Christ, July Zurich, and it was just the most incredible GSL tournament. Like, I was just so mind blown. I was like, why did I stop doing this? So I immediately started commentating a ton again, and then when it came to getting involved with Playhem, it was actually quite simple. Like, I was emailing tons of different places, and one day I asked my buddy, I was like, or I actually asked, he was one of my Twitch TV viewers, because I was streaming StarCraft all the time. I was playing a ton in addition. And I asked all my viewers, I was like, yo, so if anybody has any ideas and how I can get either on a team, or because I thought a team would be a good way to do commentary, or if I can get more involved with commentary, let me know, because this is everything I've tried and I just can't get more involved. And so one of my viewers sent me a link, and he was like, look, here's a tournament you can enter. And he's like, I hear if you do well in tournaments that it's easy to get picked up, even for casting, but also onto a team. And I was like, okay, why not? So I entered my first Playhem tournament. And it was actually a link to a team Liquid Red. Playhem was just coming out. At the bottom, there was a note that said, hey, we need casters. And like everything else, I sent them an email. And I entered the tournament. About halfway through the tournament, I have to ask a question, because I'm an idiot. I don't know if we play on the same map, or if loser gets to pick in the best of threes, because I made it to the best of threes. And Neeb asked me in all capitals, he says, are you the Kibbles and Bits? And I was like, what? Like, question mark? And he's like, are you the guy who sent me the email? And I was like, you already, like, yes, you already read that, and you called me the Kibbles and Bits, and I was just so excited. And immediately he was like, I loved your commentary, we would love to have you on sometime. I was like, oh. And so about a week later, I had my first cast with Playhem, and it's been fantastic ever since. But yeah, you guys have all said the right word. I mean, I'm gonna use a different one here, because I'm a Phi Gamma Delta, and if anybody knows Calvin Coolidge, he was a Phi Gamma, so I'm gonna use persistence. But nothing takes the place of persistence, consistency. That's what it takes, guys, to get into anything in life if you truly, truly want it. So I'm gonna pass it on over to my man to the right of me.
Fun little story, actually, real quick. About Kibbles when he applied, because if we're gonna do a little bit, like, I just wanted to say that back in June, when I was the only caster and I was solo casting these Playhem dailies, oh my god, I can't even remember doing that. But I remember when Kibbles' application came in, and then, because at the time it was me and Neve and Ben, and then basically every person who's here right now goes through the same process as you do, like, where we put up a caster up for everyone to see. But back then it was just Neve talking to me. He's like, what do you think about this Kibbles guy? And I was like, all right, well, you know, I'll put it, like, yeah, I'll look at him. And then actually, because I was so busy, Neeb always asked me, like, you just need a co-cast, you need someone else to cast with you. So I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And I never actually looked at any of the applications, but he's like, dude, you need to actually look at this guy. So I looked at it, and I heard it, and I was like, how is this guy actually not bigger, and how is he not known? Yeah. And it was like, I just said, we need to actually pick him up. Like, it was, incidentally, you're like the first application I actually looked at look through the whole video, because from the get-go I knew you'd be successful. And Kibbles, I actually really believe in your casting, so
I have, like,
we're very happy.
I literally, I can't see the camera, but I have, like, tears in my eyes right now.
Oh. Yeah, it's the same for me. The first time I heard Kibbles, like, his personality, like his laugh. I don't know if this guy is a good caster. He puts his personality, like the I don't know how he's gonna do the laugh, but it's so awesome to watch you cast. So, like, not trying to.
So somewhere in the world now, there are 5 people who put their applications in before Kibbles, going, "What? They never looked at it? Oh my god, my life is over."
Yeah, right.
I'm just so happy somebody looked at it, because if I don't know, it makes me sad. Thanks for. That was nice to know.
Bro tears.
J Shark.
Go J Shark.
Oh, I'm busy looking at the chat and their bro tears, and it's so touching. It's so sweet. Oh, Kibbles is amazing. Alright, I'm gonna have to get on this at some point. Wow. Well, I used to, I never played Brood War. I got into StarCraft in the beta, because I managed to get that, because I used to play Diablo quite a lot. And really got into GSL, and really liked watching tournaments. And coincidentally, I have this mic at home, like just a condenser mic sat on my desk. And the reason I had this mic was because back when I was in Hong Kong, so long time ago now, I used to be a singer. And I was intending originally to come over to the UK, bought this really nice expensive mic, and I was going to be recording some stuff a year or two ago. And I never really got around to doing it, primarily because I sing and I play the piano, and conveniently I don't have a piano in this room. So I thought, well, better put this mic to some good use, and I started seeing what opportunities there were for me to cast. And I believe one time there was like, I was on QXC stream, sort of like watching him because he's just a really fun guy to watch on stream. And he was doing these fan game FFAs, and I thought, wow, this is absolutely amazing. But it's really annoying. I'm only able to see the game from his point of view because so much other stuff's going on. He was on Skype with a couple of people. It was a lot of fun. And I said, hey, dude, because I just got a new computer and I was trying out XSplit because I wanted to stream some of my stuff. And I was like, hey, dude, let me see if I can come on and cast some of these FFAs. And he went, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And this is probably in October last year. So this is quite recent. And he said, okay. And I get on, I cast a couple of FFAs. Some of those are still on YouTube, actually, although they're really bad. Like, it was my first attempt, and it was pretty horrible. But everyone enjoyed themselves, and I thought, maybe I can actually get into this. And shortly after that, I started my YouTube channel. A couple of videos went up, nothing major, and I started using Twitter a lot more. And a couple of really nice community casters helped me out. I sent emails to, specifically, see if I can remember, Duckbill LOL, who's an Australian caster, and Orb, who you guys might know from the Korean weeklies. I heard from Mr. Bitter on Team Liquid, who were basically giving me really, really good advice about how people should get into casting and what they should do. And I'll come back to that at the end because I want everyone to know this stuff as well. But where I really got into casting properly was EGL4. The European Gaming League had a tournament in London in November, and that was held at the Emirates Stadium. For any of you football/soccer fans out there, Arsenal FC. And it was an absolutely massive event. There were lots of console games, StarCraft, the works. And I noticed when I got there, because I was just there as a dude who got sent there because I won tickets at my local Barcraft, right? And I noticed that no one was doing press. And I thought, well, why is this? And I brought my camera in the next day, and literally off the back of that, I just randomly got into the event, and I was doing interviews with Dignitas OD. I was interviewing some of the top players. I was standing behind them as they streamed. And this was also the event when Mr. Bitter was supposed to cast live on stage along with Leon StarCraft and Adrenal, who were both there. And he wasn't there, and halfway through the second day, one of the casters was like, actually, I really need a break. And I heard this Jarsar guy was around. Do you want to take the stage? And I was like, wait, what? And this was going out live on Team Liquid and everything, and there were a couple of thousand. And all I'd ever done today was sort of 3 or 4 people cast watching me, like, fail on stream once or twice, and I went, this is amazing! So I got on the Team Liquid stream. It was really awesome. If anyone has seen my website, I don't mean to plug, but check out jarasar.com. There's a couple of EGL related sort of blog posts. You'll be able to see everything there. And I got on this stage, and I casted a couple of the games. It was absolutely fantastic. People said they really liked my casting and they wanted me to get into it a bit more, and I was really buoyed by that experience. And from the back of that, I don't know if you remember, QXC then played Cats in a best of 31. Absolutely epic series about a month and a half ago now. And because I had done this and I'd spoken to QXC before when I did the FFAs, I was like, hey dude, maybe I'll get around to casting that, and I did. And there were only 3 streams up, his view, Cat's view, and me doing the commentary, and I stayed up till 6 o'clock in the morning from 10 p.m. Doing that, and off the back of that, I contacted Playhem with an application. They were like, hang on a second, weren't you the guy that did? And already I was in my chair going, oh my god, this is amazing! And literally 4 days after that, I got put on a trial cast with Lillian, and here I am, man. It's been great, and like, I've gone from nothing to doing this stuff so quickly. It's almost like, I don't want to say it's all a dream or something really cliche, but it feels like it's one of those things that could just disappear in an instant, and you really just have to enjoy the moment. And the biggest piece of advice I want to share with anyone aspiring to become a caster is definitely something that Mr. Bitter told me. I asked him on a Team Liquid private message. I said, hey Bitter, I know you've got no reason to talk to a scrub like me, but I'm trying to get into casting, and I really just want a bit of advice. What am I supposed to be doing? I think I'm pretty good, but I don't know, because like not enough people watch me. I need feedback. And I'll never forget his reply to me. He said, the most important thing about being a successful caster when you're starting out is to make sure you put yourself out there. And that even if the opportunities come along, you're there to receive them. You're not there to push for it and try asking every single person for an opportunity to cast, although that's part of it. You're there just to make sure you're in the right place at the right time. And if you're not putting yourself out there in the first place, it's not going to work. I went to EGL4. There was no one there doing press. I just went along with my DSLR and started snapping photos and said, hey, let's do some interviews with the players. And it got loads of views on YouTube. I was just there when QXC was doing his fan stream, and I thought, oh, maybe I could cast this. And then I ended up casting his best of 31 later on. I was just there watching Playhem, and I was like, actually, these guys are really awesome. I really want to be a part of this. This is incredibly cool. And now I'm here with you guys, and you just got to put yourself out there. I woke up at 5:20 in the morning to do this. I had no idea what the show was about until just during the EU Daily yesterday, and I just didn't care. It sounded like something so awesome that I had to drag my ass out of bed. That's why I'm in my sexy robes, by the way. Here, I'm chilling out with you guys, because at the end of the day, these are really small sacrifices to make for something you love. I love StarCraft and I love esports, and I think this is a fantastic way of giving back to the community. So this kind of thing makes me happy, and I think it's great if other people want to get into it as well. Just remember, put yourself out there, and definitely put the work in. Like, sticking 20 hours a week into casting isn't actually that bad. And in fact, that's actually a bit of a small commitment, especially you do stuff for YouTube, because as you all know, encoding stuff is horrible. But we do it because it's what we love, and if it's what you love, then there's just no reason not to, man. It's just a fantastic experience, and I'd recommend everyone should give it a shot.
Wow. I don't really know how to follow that. That was pretty ridiculous.
So
Heartfelt, like, all you guys have these really heartfelt things to say. I just have to ask people in chat if they can hear me, because my mic's kind of gone wonky.
Now.
They can hear me in the chat?
Yeah, now I can hear you. I wasn't hearing you earlier, but now we're good.
Okay.
Now we good.
Good, sounds good. Well, I don't have like a heartfelt story of these calibers, I should say. But
he was just banging bitches and
yeah, I was out playing the game, man, out on the street. And
My question.
Gotta hit that button, man.
Well, let's hear this question real quick.
All right, I wanted to just ask you guys real quick. This is a yes or no question. Do you guys rewatch any of your old casts?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Frodo and I did last
And
couple
they are
days
so
ago together. We
bad.
watched a couple of our first casts, and we were just laughing at each other.
Did you ever watch like even recent ones, like to like criticize yourself or what?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't like the sound of my voice. Like, it annoys me to listen to myself. So
Just wanted to know real quick because I never watch any of my old casts. I don't know if that's a good idea.
You asked me about that. You got all concerned.
I know.
Like the other day, you're like, I was listening to the cast that we did, and you're like, you listen to those things? And I'm like, well, yeah. You're like, oh my god.
I never listened to
Oh
any of
my god.
casts, any of them, so I'm just wondering if that's a bad thing or not.
no,
It's a
good.
tool.
I mean, people have their own ways of.
I think you should.
Yeah, you
Think
should.
it's- Okay.
Yeah.
I think
you
it's
don't-
good to.
plays
I think it's
stuff.
better to give it to someone else that you're, close with and who obviously plays StarCraft and is very familiar with the game, and ask them for their input. I feel like
Yeah.
I don't know. If I watch it, it's like listening to yourself. I keep comparing it to singing, but I mean, how much
Yeah.
good criticism can you give to yourself
Yeah.
when you're the one who did it?
You can catch
That's
yourself. You can catch yourself falling into traps though, where you like say the same phrase over and over and over again.
No
You're like,
problem.
though.
no
Yeah.
problemo.
No, absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
blame that on Tumba.
Easy
I blame
peasy.
that on Tumba.
Yeah.
That's his fault.
Alright.
I need to stop saying
Sorry,
Robin
sorry.
so much in my cast.
Yeah, man.
Sorry
Man.
to steal your thunder. Go ahead with your.
Oh yeah, I've got my
Well,
story to tell. Don't I?
Robin.
What I do?
No,
Um,
Frodad, I need to stop saying Robin.
And Robin, just for the good man, the sound of your voice, we all love it. It doesn't annoy us. We want to hear it.
it's good, man. I wouldn't
Thank you.
wouldn't worry about that.
John, you're so good at talking to people.
I know. I can Brady Bunch this really hard. Like, yes.
Brady
Thank-
Bunch.
Thank you, Frodan, for such a good
You've been
point.
practicing, man.
Kibbles, I'll give you a high five. You ready? You ready?
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Do it. Come on, Kibbles. Give it up. There you go.
Let's do. We gotta time it up. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was terrible.
Nice.
1, 2,
Right,
3.
1, 2, 3.
I
Yeah.
got that one good enough. All right.
Good job,
Now
guys.
You
kiss.
guys were separated by like 2
No,
inches. on
no
the screen.
kiss.
Now kiss.
All right. Well, I have a short story. It's not as like in depth, I guess, but I cast on the side. I mean, I'm following my dream, sure, all that good jazz, but let's see. I decided I wanted to give this a try after MLG Anaheim, and it was my first MLG, like, StarCraft event. And I remember sitting in the audience thinking, damn, all these people really love esports, and this is an awesome community. And I thought, like, well, how much time do I spend, like, jerking around playing Battlefield 3 or just sitting at my computer watching streams? Like, I'm not creating content. I'm not helping the community. I'm just being a part of it, you know? And I was like, well, I've done radio work before, and I was like, well, how could I get involved, and how could I do this? So I decided that I would try to cast for 1 month. That was my time period to myself. And if I enjoyed it, not necessarily if I was successful at it, but if it was something I enjoyed doing after a month, I would continue it. And if it wasn't something I liked, I would just stop. And that's kind of the way I go about things. And I did the first step that anyone else does when they get into casting. You go and you buy XSplit, and you get yourself a Justin TV channel, and you just start doing it. And I did cast actually from Cast It, and this is my big kind of tip. There's a Reddit sub-community called r/casted, and it's a community of people who want games to be casted, and casters looking for games. So if you guys go add that, it desperately needs both ends of that. It needs people in there submitting games to be casted for feedback, and then it's good for casters as well. r/casted, and I just did like every game that was on the sheet. I downloaded all the replays from that page, and I did them. And I thought it was like, okay, cool, well, I can get like 30, 40 people watching me, and that was awesome to get like views. But then I started working with SCV Rush for a little bit, doing, I believe it was the Craft Cup on Fridays, and just like everyone else said, you start small, you do small audiences, man. I remember the first time I got 100 people viewing me, and I was like,
that was so hard, dude.
I know, it's crazy.
100's
like
so hard.
100 is hard to get. I remember the day we got
Yeah,
it,
man.
and like everyone who played in Craft Cup, the pros were also streaming it. Like, so when you went to the Craft Cup thing on Team Liquid, it was like 10 featured streams. You know what I mean? And then like we're the casters, and we're like the 10th one down as far as viewership. And you're like, well, you know, people would rather just watch their stream without any commentary. You're like, well, I guess they just prefer not hearing anything, hearing me to not hearing me for the same like content. But I remember when I broke 100 people, and I was so jazzed. Like, I called up my friends like on Skype, and I'm like, dude, I just casted to 100 people. It was insane. And then I guess perseverance and the next step of what everyone was saying, I started just asking around for casting opportunities and cold calling people. And I suggest that to a lot of people out there. Cold call tournaments, cold call organizations, and just get your name out there. Be like, hey, I'm a caster, check out my stuff, check out Team Liquid threads, check out Reddit threads for opportunities, and you're going to get a lot of rejection, and that's a part of anything, growing, getting better at it. Eventually I cold called the CSL, the Collegiate Star League, and was like, hey, do you guys need casters? And met a wonderful community of admins and players there, casted for them. Frodan here was actually my first official like CSL cast with another person, and it was really like nerve-wracking because I looked up Frodan's profile. I'm like, you're going to be casting with Frodan, and I'm like, Frodan, awesome, I'll check him out. And I went to his Twitch, and it was like a night of one of the Playhems or something, and you had like 400 people like in your channel watching the Frodan netcast, and I was like, oh my god, this guy. And I like went back and listened to you and like, you know, your old cast. I'm like, oh my god, I'm supposed to cast with this person, and I'm like, first cast, I'm like, Frodan, I'm really bad at this, but like I'll try my best, buddy. And we did a couple casts at the CSL, and that's kind of what I started putting a lot of my time into. And eventually I got the call, man. Got the call. Was sitting just at my desk, and ring-a-ding-ding, got the call from Playhem. Was like, hey, would you like to do a tryout? And I was like, I made it. That's it. Packing my bags. I'm going to Hollywood. You know, kiss my mom on the cheek. Got my like neckerchief or handkerchief in my shirt, and got on the bus. You know, left cold, dark Fairbanks, and headed out to the grandeur that is Playhem, and the rest is history. But yeah, I mean, just for the rest of you guys out there who want to do it, persistence, and you got to work on your craft. You can't like you can't just sit back and like have it happen. You need to cast a lot. You need to practice. You need to have people listen to you. And the biggest thing I'd say is you need to be willing to listen to criticism from yourself and from other people, or else you're not going to get any better.
Even if it's like negative criticism, like people are like, "You fucking suck. Learn Protoss." Just like, okay, I need to learn Protoss.
Yeah.
Disregard the first part, but really take what you can from any type of criticism. I mean, yeah, you have to
I'm
take
gonna say
everything.
fuck, just so Robin's not the only one who said fuck the whole night.
Yeah, fuck.
Sorry. I'm
Fuck.
very
Fuck.
bad mouth when I'm not casting. My
Ring a
apologies.
ding ding.
No, you're absolutely right though. You really are. It's easy to just keep throwing emails, and there's enough rejection at this point that you're just gonna be like, people are gonna be like, no, and you know what? You make it ain't like riding a bike. You know, games get patched, and certainly suddenly Immortals are doing more damage or have more range than you remember them having.
Oh, so good.
Suddenly-
Warp Prism, why you would no die? You are so strong, Warp Prism.
I want to bring up that actually. I want to follow up on that point real quick. That you haven't made it unless you have haters.
Yeah.
Like, I have actually a lot of haters, so it's just like it
All right.
encourages me though, because I realize
You got
that
5 right here, buddy.
I'm going
You got 5 right here.
Who is that guy? Why is he above me? Oh my god.
It's so big.
Frodan, why would you do that?
Yeah, hey, why's Frodan in the middle? This is bullcrap.
We'll mix it up for the next
Can we
after
just-
hours.
Please?
We'll shuffle the squares.
He had Frodan. Oh.
if you have haters, it's just because you need to push harder. Because I just think it's what builds your character. You know, you gotta build thick skin. Don't be like some other people in the community who respond to every single little criticism. And like, I mean, I'm just gonna pick on Robin for a second, but he's got even more haters than me, dude. And he's like one of the most gracious people. He deals with, like, there's people who hate on him as he's casting, and he's like gonna take on the liberty and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna try to change that like right now." And he's just like constantly moldable, and that's also another reason why I think Robin will be successful. Just because, I mean, you hear all these like companies, like McDonald's is like a real estate company, but ends up being a fast food thing, and just people who roll with the punches are the ones who end up being successful. So I think with all those haters and like all those things, it's just I mean, those things are just what, like, I think a good analogy is like gold has to go through fire in order to be pure and refined. So everyone's got to go through those tough things in order to really put out that clean finished product. So use those haters and don't avoid them.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. Try to make it into a joke too. I don't know. I try to make it into a laughing matter in some way, same different form. I don't know. I feel it makes it a little bit better to hurt, and it stings less. It stings less, guys. But yeah.
I just drink heavily. Every time I read a thread and they're like, "Who the hell's StarCraft Alaska? He doesn't know shit. He's only in Diamond League. Fuck that guy." I'm just like,
Do you want to feel better? Do you want to feel better, Alaska?
yeah.
Yeah. I just got promoted to platinum.
Oh,
Congrats, man. Congrats.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah!
I think we should have a caster tournament. There's a lot of talk every time.
Oh my god.
We should have a 1v1 caster
I think
tournament.
you can take everyone here except Frodid. I've seen Shane play. It's fucking.
Bring it
I mean, it's
on,
bad.
Robin.
Yeah, really, bring it on, Robin. Holy
I
crap.
think I could take.
I threw that game, Robin, just to get you off guard.
I've watched, yeah,
I'm
I've watched
masters
you
at heart.
stream, Robin. It's not okay.
I mean, Lurlian's an easy one.
It's not
just four
okay.
gates.
Yeah,
So I'm
Lillian's-
not worried about him.
He has one
It's gonna-
build.
I don't know, man.
All right,
Oh,
Shane, close it
guys.
out.
All right, guys. Well,
Really quickly, Shane.
All right.
Someone in chat just mentioned something that I actually think is pretty good. He said, "How do you guys deal with roommates when casting?" And funnily enough, that wall right there,
I have
It's-
such a good
it's
story
like-
about that. Oh my god.
Flatmate, who can probably hear me talking through the wall. I'm just gonna have to apologize to him later.
there you go.
But there might be some good stories here, so I thought I'd bring it up.
Quick
Okay.
stories, guys, real quick.
All right, Froden's got the best one apparently. Go ahead.
Well, no, okay, so my roommate last year when I first started casting was this traditional Mexican who is so used to like living with his family that he's just unafraid to be barebacked, man. Like he just walks around junk trailing
Junk.
everywhere, dude. Like he's just, I mean, he's got a lot of hair, man. Like I could skin him and make a carpet and rug for the shower, man. It's just he's got so like, dude, I had to cast with him blasting Mexican trumpets and like baila 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 music, and it was just so weird. The first time I was casting, he was like butt naked, like 2 feet away from me, and then he'd look at me.
What?
He'd, like, look over. It'd be like the thing where he like leans over my shoulder, and then so like his chest hair, I could feel it prickling against my ear, kind of thing. But like I'm like trying to focus on being casting because I'm like trying to be professional and everything. But I really want to reach over and scratch my ear, but I'm afraid I'm gonna like end up curling his chest hair and.
Oh.
Wow, guys.
Like I thought having to like work on like sipping your water and muting, drinking this thing. You just said.
I don't know what I just heard.
Wow. Oh my god.
All
Casting
right.
is dangerous. It's not for everyone.
Okay,
Not really.
guys. I think that story is a good note to end on for our first Playhem After Hours. And I just want to say thank you to all of our fans who have stuck around. For you guys that have stayed for After Hours today, people who stayed for the fan games, you guys are our community, and we support the crap out of you. You guys all get a heart. One of these from us. Come on, Frodan, do it. Do it, Frodan. You're the only one.
Sorry, I'm watching the stream. It's a lot more delayed. So
There you go.
I'm gonna try to do it the other way.
I'm gonna make a red heart.
You're going to do a red heart?
Can't
Heart
I
fail.
can't make a heart at that angle. Hold on.
What are you trying to do,
He's
Kibbles?
trying to match it with his bedspread.
Oh, cool.
No.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
Nice. Good. That's good, Kibbles.
Oh, look at our chat.
Nice.
So guys, with that, we're gonna end the Playhem After Hours, the first special. Monday nights, guys, please give us feedback, upvotes on Reddit, whatever you want to do. Team Liquid thread, as always, to talk about Playhem. We're here to serve you guys as the community. And I don't know, we're gonna mix things up next week with the locations, because Frodan's getting a little too much love in the center. And we got John is like Lawrence of Arabia right now with his head thing. Looks like he's gonna like head out
like
over
Cher,
the.
His outfit, man.
It's freezing, man. I haven't been up this early in ever, I think. Oh.
Just stay up, man. Tough it out.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Have a good
You
night,
should
guys.
Start casting 'cause it makes you warm.
I'm
Take
gonna
it easy, guys.
put on some music and we're gonna fade this guy out. So
Jazz it out all.
jazz it out.
Him after hours.
You need to be the one saying it, honestly, Shane. You just have the smoothest voice.
It's true.
All right, guys.
Rodan.
Good night. Hope you guys all have sweet Playhem dreams.
Nice.
Good to go.